I'm Ike, commander of the Grail Mercenaries.
Ike is the main protagonist of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. In Fire Emblem Heroes, Ike, the young mercenary, is a red sword infantry hero who has his own legendary weapon in Ragnell, a sword with a built-in distant counter skill. Ike's stats are fairly good considering his general role on a team. He has average HP and speed, a good defensive stat, and a very high 35 attack stat. Ike's relatively low resistance makes him susceptible to mages, however he can still fight back thanks to Ragnell's long-range counterattacks. Ike has stats in all the right places to make him a good brawler who wants to be engaging on the front lines against other physical damage dealers. His base kit is actually very good and quite synergistic without the need for much skill inheritance. Ragnell is a legendary weapon with distant counter, which allows Ike to compete with the popular Xander and Ryoma. Aether is Ike's signature attack and is comprised of two effects. It first grants Luna, which resolves conflict as if the enemy's defense was cut in half. Second, it applies Soul, so half the damage that Ike deals with Luna is granted in HP for Ike. Aether's 5-turn charge made it unpopular to use on other heroes such as Lucina, but Ike is meant for abusing this powerful skill. Heavy Blade is an A skill that was first introduced on Ike and is an extremely powerful skill in the right circumstances. Its effect grants an extra special charge every time Ike attacks an enemy if Ike's attack is greater than or equal to 1 higher than his opponent. For example, Ike attacks with 51 attack against an opponent who has 48 attack. If Aether is on a 5-turn cooldown, Ike's first attack will reduce its cooldown to 3 instead of 4. If a Heavy Blade can be reliably activated, Aether suddenly is charged much faster and makes Ike dangerous to fight. Rounding out Ike's kit is Swordbreaker, which helps him fight the many faster sword heroes in the game. He has an average speed of 31, which in many cases is not good enough to avoid double attacks from most popular sword users. With this skill, Ike will be the one with guaranteed double attacks and can shut down other sword heroes in one round of combat. Ike's role on a team can be that of a frontline brawler. Ike has decent stats in everything but resistance, which allows him to be a reliable threat against other melee physical attackers. If the Aether plus Heavy Blade combo is used, Ike becomes an excellent fighter in prolonged battles with multiple enemies, since he will be able to sustain thanks to the heal. Ragnell's built-in distant counter allows Ike to counterattack range units, which means he can fight just about everything except lances and most mages. If you want an all-around answer to green and red melee enemies and bow/dagger users, then Ike will be the hero you want. Ike does require a team who can handle blue enemies and mages. He will be able to return relatively good damage, but survivability against the weapon triangle is a difficult task for anyone. Ike is also greatly dependent on attack buffs and debuffs if you want to abuse the Aether and Heavy Blade synergy. Considering Ike's stats and role on the team, we can determine what sort of nature is best to look out for. In my opinion, if you can get minus res as the Bane, then any other stat will be nice to have increased. Plus attack and plus speed will be the best for offensive builds, while plus defense or plus HP are decent natures that won't hurt Ike at all. Minus attack is not ideal because it affects the potential of Heavy Blade, but since Ike has such a high attack stat, he actually isn't terrible if this is the nature you get. Ike has an average speed, so reducing it further will only hurt his offensive and defensive capabilities. The only nature you really want to avoid is plus res. This does little for Ike since his resistance is rather low already. As a warning, this means a minus res nature will make Ike even weaker to magic as it starts to hit a super low point among all the heroes in the game. The good thing about Ike is that he does not need a particular nature combination to excel. You really can do well with most natures, and thus just getting him will be great for you. My recommended build does little in innovation, but I think plays to the strengths that Ike already comes with. And a plus attack nature is wanted because we want to be abusing Heavy Blade and Aether. Swap will allow Ike to protect his allies on the front lines and get them out of danger, while allowing him to bait in remaining enemies. I have talked a lot about Aether and Heavy Blade, so no more has to be said there. Swordbreaker will be fine to keep since this gives Ike an advantage against the many sword lords from other games. It also means they can't take advantage of his rather average speed, and most sword heroes won't be able to take 2 hits from Ike thanks to his high attack. For C skills, Threat and Attack can be used to further ensure Heavy Blade works against the highest attack stat enemies. This can also be subbed out for Threat and Speed or Defense, as either will continue to help Ike beat down his foes. With minus res, you will want to avoid mages at all costs as they will inflict heavy damage no matter the matchup. Ike has a few skill inherent options, so let's go over what can also be used on an Ike build. For weapons, I don't think there's any reason not to use Ragnell. 16 might and distant counter is too good to pass up on. For assist skills, reposition is fine as it is on most heroes. Ardent Sacrifice can also be used if you want to try a gimmicky healer build that uses Aether and Renewal to replenish HP. For specials, I can just use Luna or Soul if Aether is taking too long. If this is the case, then Heavy Blade most likely shouldn't be used. Bonfire is also good for consistent 16 damage if Ike has his neutral 32 defense. If you don't want to go the Heavy Blade route, then Fury 3 can also be an option. Fury's recoil damage will also work well with Vantage in the B slot skill, and can be a way for Ike to survive mage encounters. A plus speed Ike can use the simple but effective speed plus 3 A skill to jump up to a respectable 37 speed. Even though plus res may not be a great nature, it may be salvageable if you give Ike distant defense to provide a nice boost to ranged defenses. For B skills, Quick Riposte can replace Swordbreaker if you want Ike to be more effective on the counterattack against all types of enemies. Ike's speed is not bad, but Ike will get doubled more by popular sword heroes such as Ryoma or Lucina in the arena. I think Quick Riposte is better in general for PvE content, but having a very distinct advantage against sword units is also strong. Vantage with distant counter is also a strong combination, and can be good if you need Ike to fight mages, assuming he can one-shot them on the first hit. Renewal can also be taken if you want more healing alongside Aether, and maybe a potential healer build, although I do not recommend going down this route. C skills are generally dependent on the team composition, so Ike has a wide range of options depending on your needs. So some personal thoughts of after using Ike, I think he's very good out of the box. His kit is very synergistic, meaning that everything complements each other. I have a minus attack nature with plus speed as the boon. And I have to say that minus attack, you're probably better off with something other than Heavy Blade. It can work, but in arena versus other people who have the similar units, it's very hard to activate, and it's a little iffy. Heavy Blade is really fun, I will say, and I imagine other heroes with high attack can use it very well on other builds. It's a little hard to get though, considering it's only on Ike, so that is unfortunate. However, I think it has a very high potential, and maybe down the road, if they introduce it on other heroes, you'll see that people might come up with some crazy builds abusing Heavy Blade's power. Since Ragnell has distant counter, it gives Ike the same advantage as Ryoma and Xander, and I think this is important because all three are pretty similar. Ryoma's probably the best offensively, Ike's somewhere in the middle, and Xander is definitely the best tank out of those three. But it's a nice perk to have, and not many other heroes are going to have distant counter on their weapon. Aether's heal, I have to say after using it a lot, can be tricky because it can get wasted if Ike uses it on a low HP target. Even if he were to deal 50 damage to them, if they only have 2 HP, he's only going to heal for half of 2 HP. He's not going to heal for half of 50 damage. It doesn't take the overkill damage into effect, so it can be a little tricky, and you kind of have to play it right. As for allies, I think low-key Delthea is probably the best ally for Ike. She's a blue mage who can cover other red enemies, and her legendary weapon Dark Aura provides a plus 6 attack buff to melee units, which is absolutely ridiculous for Ike. And she also comes with Drive Attack, which is another plus 3 attack to allies who are within 2 spaces of her. That means she can give Ike a potential 9 attack, which is absolutely ridiculous, and you pretty much activate Heavy Blade on anything besides like a ridiculously souped up like Chrom or someone like that. It's absolutely amazing, and I think if you have a Delthea and an Ike, you should definitely try pairing them up together. Ike is a solid sword unit who comes with the unique and powerful Heavy Blade skill. His high attack, decent defense, and distant counter weapon make him a powerful ally for any team composition. If you need a frontline powerhouse, then hire this deadly mercenary, and he will surely fight for his friends.
I will finish you!